Excellent. So, hello everybody. It is an absolute privilege to be welcoming you to what is, to be honest, probably Space Forge's third actual facility, but the first proper one. And it's really strange to think that 16 months ago, Space Forge was myself and Andrew working in a garage in Bradley Stoke, kindly donated by his now wife, and perhaps less than kindly some days. And I was working on a fold-out dining table in my flat in Bristol, and my wife was at the other side of that, working in her job. And it was a very strange dance of the extension cables to work out who got to charge their laptop. And somehow in that we were able to find people that believed in what we were doing and the way that we were doing it, and that goes from not putting money into my house deposit to buy Andy a vacuum pump and parts of 3D printers, to on Andrew's birthday doing a drop test from the Mendips, and the first test landed in the Forest of Dean, and it worked. And people started to believe what we were doing. And it's been the most remarkable journey. I mean, at the March last year was obviously a very strange time, but in 1 week, we quit our jobs at Thales, we closed our first fundraise, we secured our first contract, I managed to move house, and then the pandemic happened and we went into lockdown. Probably one of the worst times ever in history to try and build a hardware company. And yet we made do. We shipped products to Romania and Croatia. We used university labs in Leeds and Cardiff after hours. We took over garages and attics and offices, and we kind of owe Radu an apology for when we burnt his carpet, which is another story. And it's just been a remarkable 16 months, and as I said, when we cut the ribbon, it's an absolute privilege to work with the whole team every day, who do things far beyond what I can comprehend, to be quite honest. And the only way that I was thinking about this was, to be honest, it was one of those strange thoughts you have in the shower, so sorry for that. But we were talking about how when people travel back in time, and they're worried about if they travel back in time, they'll step on a butterfly or whatever, and it will change the course of history. But nobody worries about the actions that they're taking now that affect the future. And that's exactly what we're doing at Space Forge, is when it was Andrew and I, we were moving the world by a couple of millimeters every day. Now there are 22 of us and we move it by 22 millimeters every day. And watching that happen is incredibly, it's a remarkable, to be honest, profound experience, and quite humbling to watch it from the sidelines. And so I'm here to say thank you all for coming, and really to say thank you to Andy, because I wouldn't be here if he hadn't approached me at my desk in Thales and said, I've had an idea. And so I owe pretty much everything that I do right now to the patience of my wife, the patience of Andrew's wife, and Andrew himself for developing the technology. And so that's all I wanted to say, and Andrew, over to you.
Thanks, Josh. Thank you. Hi everyone. Yeah, thanks Josh. That's a good summary. And yeah, I'm not going to add too much more, but just to echo kind of what Josh was saying, that as the Chief Technology Officer, it's sometimes quite difficult to let go. I think it's nice. Back 3 years ago when we were first incorporated, I was doing everything in terms of all the technology, the re-entry, the manufacturing, everything, trying to balance all the plates. And then we had our first employee, Flo, who came on, and I was like, I can give it to her and see how it goes. And then she then went and exceeded all expectations in terms of the quality of the system she built. And then as every new person has come in, I'm like, okay, I can give this to them. And it is very hard to let go, but there's nothing. Someone once asked me what I was most proud of at Space Forge, and it's when you give someone a task, you say, I need you to do this, and they go away and they do it better than you ever could. And that's really down to the team that we've worked. They help each other and help themselves in terms of learning and making sure they're prioritising learning and everything. So that's really great, and I think it's a fantastic team. And let's forget, we've got the team here, but we've got a team remotely all over the country. So we shouldn't be forgetting them as well, that they're making really good efforts, and in terms of bringing together the whole team and everything we're trying to do. And I want to echo what Josh is doing, and Josh is saying about, let's not forget that it is COP26 very soon, and it can be easy to get sort of carried away with making exciting space technology. And I made sure, and both Josh and I just need to not forget why we're trying to do this, and why do we start going down the route of manufacturing in space. And it is manufacturing in space for Earth. We always want to be focused on making new things in space that you can bring down, make stuff more efficient, make it generate less CO2 to, as you say, make an impact on the world. And that's what we're about, and we must always stick to that, and that's what we're trying to do. So with that, I just want to express my thanks to Josh. I was just an engineer with a lot of ideas, but he was the one who would always come and say, Andy, yeah, that's a great idea, but who's going to pay for it? And we kept going round and round and round until eventually we came on the idea that was Space Forge, and the answer of who's going to pay and who's going to help us and how is this company going to grow was obvious, and now we're doing it. And what I love is the fact that as a team, we know what we're trying to do is very hard, but nobody ever comes to me and says, why are we doing this? I think that for me is really great. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Hashbir from the UK Space Agency, and thank you very much.
Thank you. How do you follow that? I mean, we civil servants don't do anything exciting in terms of speeches, but many congratulations to Space Forge, and thank you for having me here today, and colleagues from the UK Space Agency. From my perspective as the Director of Growth at the UK Space Agency, you're making my life and job much easier. This is exactly what I want to see and want to hear, so thank you so much to start off with. But we as Space Agency have been part of your journey from very beginning. Space Forge obviously approached us. We tried to help through different programs, either at national level or through our UKSA channels. So I'm really pleased that this journey is turning into what obviously we're seeing here today, and much more in the future. So I'm really pleased that it's worked to the level that it's worked to, at least your success to date, and we can take it to the next level, or you will take it to the next level, and we can be part of the journey with you going forward. Now, I must do my normal civil service stuff as well. So the UK government, as you know, we published our National Space Strategy a couple of weeks ago. And one of the big pillars in the National Space Strategy is local growth. And when I say local growth, it's growth of a space economy across the UK. And I'm really pleased to be here in Wales, and I'm really pleased Space Forge are here in Wales. And you're leading the way to make sure we can create another cluster in this part of the world. And I was talking to you earlier on from the Welsh Government, and we're working very closely with the Wales Government on their strategy to make sure it's all joined up across the piece and across the UK. The other thing I'll probably point out, being a civil servant, is the economic opportunities. The low Earth orbit opportunities are probably just on the cusp of arriving. And I'm really pleased as you as Space Forge at the forefront of it and trying to exploit those opportunities. So from my side, from the UK Space Agency side, I'm really pleased that you've obviously had your new building here today, and we want to continue working with you, but I want to wish you all the best for the future, and look forward to hearing all the good stuff that Space Forge is going to be doing in the coming months and years. So thank you so much, and congratulations once more.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Stuart Whitney. I'm from the Ministry of Defence Space Command, so work very closely with the UK Space Agency. Today, I will have to freely admit I am only 8 weeks into my job, and therefore coming out and seeing a company like this literally launching themselves onto the world has been nothing short of inspirational. In terms of the collaboration today, I've been really struck with a mix of people from within the company, and indeed the mix of people that have turned out today to celebrate your success. And I think that mix is absolutely fundamental to how we tackle some of the complex and complicated problems we are faced with in space and indeed on Earth. It's very easy to be cynical the older you get, but I was utterly refreshed today because it's still amazing to see amazing people doing amazing things. And certainly the feel you get from this company, no matter who you speak to, everyone has got a smile on their face when you have to look at them. And that has been a very refreshing aspect of today. So trying to draw my little bit to a close, this is all about the journey you're on. It's been a privilege to be here today. I'm sure it won't be the last time. I believe this is the second time already in a week. Space Command have been down to see you, so that relationship will no doubt continue. But this is all about the journey, and you've heard already, you're now contributing probably a world-leading technology into a vibrant UK space industry spread across the UK, which is important. And we wish you all the very best for the journey as it continues, and the best of luck for forging a sustainable future for us on planet Earth. Thank you very much indeed.
Apologies for my American accent. So when we met Joshua and Andrew earlier this year, I had never stepped foot in the UK. I was based in LA, we're Type 1 Ventures, and we invest in anything that progresses humanity forward, and that fit the bill almost immediately. If you have a technology that can return something from space, and you can manufacture something so simple that can remove CO2 from the atmosphere, that's all we needed to hear. And then additionally to that, the technology that they were building was validated. They've actually accomplished so much with so little money. So when we decided to lead the round, we realized that Joshua and Andrew have the intangibles of building a company culture, which you all have seen here. And that's the little spark that needs to create a larger company, and from there it can scale. So we're very excited to be supporting them, and we will continue to support them. It won't be the last facility, or the first or the last facility that they will, inaugurate here. So very happy to be here, very happy to meet so many great people, and the base of investors that are already involved and were involved before us is incredible as well. So we're super happy, and thank you guys for having us.